Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. Actually, it's not on the server, it's the Hermitcraft second world downloaded to my computer. And I'm excited right now. This is the place where I last logged off of the world and said my goodbyes. But the other reason that I'm excited is because I know that some of you out there have not actually seen this world, and outside of this little place right here there are some wonders for you to see. Oh yes indeed. So right now I am on vacation, although now that I'm recording I'm obviously not. Yep, doing a little bit of special videos for you guys while I am away, taking a break from the whole YouTube for a few days, which is going to be awesome. But anyway, over here are my UHC apples. These things are ever so cool. I love the way that they are displayed. And location of Big Bang. What does that mean? I can't actually remember. I'm going to have to think about that one. But yes, this is my old base. There is something on the outside that's amazing that many of you know about, and something down here which turned out to be pretty cool as well. And around us we have our storage area, which I think was actually a pretty well designed. You know, it may look very simple, there's nothing fancy like automation and stuff going on behind it, but the fact that you've just got them all here, you've got a few basic labels to tell you what you need, and you've got speed from your beacons, you can run around. And by the way, we're going to be going around in game mode 1. It's really good. So down here we have more storage as well. We also had a little shop, and that chest is empty, and we collected a ridiculous amount of sand on the server. You're about to find out why. Look at this, storage for sand everywhere. All of these chests are filled up. It is no joke, 100% survival. And yeah, let's go up the top and we'll have a look outside, and you are going to see some wonderful things. Okay, game mode 1 it is. We're going to fly up there and you are going to see the wastelands. This was my project for season 2. This took place over about 9 months. So let's go outside and have a look. Look at that. Yes, that is custom terrain right there. This entire area, with the exception of that corner, was basically a desert. There was a desert temple just over in that area. When I came into the area for the first time, we set up a little base there, and then eventually we moved it to the exact center and rebuilt the desert temple so it was bigger and it had a moat around it. And this is it right here. This was just so much fun. It's bringing back a lot of memories, and I can literally just look at different areas and recognize the terrain and actually remember like music that I was listening to and movies that I was watching, etc. My mind kind of works like that. I love this game, it's awesome. And yes, like I said, this took place over a very long time, so you know, every week I'd come on and do a little bit of work here and there, and then the end product was this. Now there is one thing that's been brought to my attention, is that my render distance is quite high. So let's go into video settings. We are on 20 at the moment. Let's bring this all the way down to, I think, 12 was the render distance of the old server. Maybe even that's a little bit big. But when you would stand in the middle, you wouldn't see any of the edges, which was really cool. And this is loading pretty slow considering I've got Optifine and we're on my computer. Strange stuff, but I do think we should keep it in 20. In fact, someone suggested put it in 32, so I'm pretty sure this is going to mess up. Let's try it on 32. And it will actually take a moment to load. And it doesn't seem to have messed up the rendering. So while it's doing that, let's, should we let it go to night time? This place looks pretty cool at night. Okay, the rendering's messed up. Right, let me reload the client and then we're going to resume with the tour. So, 32 render distance. Yes, this was a suggestion I got when I mentioned possibly doing a tour on the old world again. And if we press F3, you can see here it goes all the way up to 2,100 megabytes. And normally that allocated kind of goes up and down while you play, or at least it goes steadily goes up and then it drops down once the game clears some of the memory it's not using. But it's stuck right there, and I've assigned 4 gigs to it as well. It's interesting stuff I don't really know too much about, just making observations. And yeah, we're going to do the tour on 32 render distance. It's a little bit crazy. I imagine as I go around, we're not going to get to see too much of the big distance because it means I have to wait around for things to load. But anyway, this is the Wastelands. It is an epic project, and there are other things going on here. As you can see, we have tons and tons of beacons. Like on the current world, we had a wither farm, and I got loads and loads of beacons. We did some really cool things with them, like fight 100 withers in one episode, although that was just one by one, not all at the same time. So this is the entrance to my base. You come from the nether, and then you have to drop all the way down below like this. So you can hold shift on the vines to stop at each of these little intersections, I guess you could call them, or if you drop down on this side, you go all the way down to the bottom. And I'm going to fly here for a second, because this is extremely cool. Look at this right here. This was built with the help from the community on my Plot World server. We got together. They mostly did the roof area. I kind of came up with some of the basics for down below. But together we came up with this and it just looked amazing. We built it on the server first, then I came here into survival and spent hours upon hours building this thing. It was an amazing project, and the idea is that this would be the beginning of our base down below. We would have an entrance to 4 different areas, and each area would contain something different. And then we've got this water down the bottom here, we've got all of the ores in the walls, and somewhere down here there should be baby pigmen. Yes, we have baby pigmen that run around. They won't despawn, but for some reason here on this world, these guys run super fast. And of course, now that I'm recording, he's a little bit shy. He doesn't want to show off. Oh, it's so good to be back here. It really doesn't feel like I've left in some ways. But anyway, that's about as far as we got with all of this area down here. Spent a lot of time up top working on that part of the base, and then when it came to this part, unfortunately the map reset just as I got going. So you can see there's not much to look at out here, and if we go through to this side, there is a little bit of work done in this area. Still trying to play around with different materials here, figuring out what would look good, but this is going to be my farming area. You can see I had all of the animals over here in preparation, and the only farm that we actually got up and running was the sheep farm. Now this is a magic sheep farm, which was made by a guy called Pi. Yes, Pi, and then he has all of the numbers of the Pi number. Hopefully that makes sense to you. If you've studied a bit of maths, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. And yeah, these guys will literally just walk through all the way up to the top, fall down, come back down to the bottom and keep walking along the grass. So they rotate across the grass, which means that they can eat it and regenerate their wool, and you can stand AFK over there and harvest it. And this is a farm that I want to rebuild on the current server, but in a much larger capacity. I'm thinking that we have one of these for each colour. We make them bigger, we have more sheep in them, but that's a project that I've been meaning to get round to for a long time, and I'm not sure when I have the time to do it. But anyway, we did it here on the server first, and then if we go through to this side over here, I think you'll see there is more nothing, a few chests left over with supplies in them and some vines for farming. And over on this side we started to build a little bit of a farm with this sugarcane farm right here, which goes all the way up to the bottom of the wastelands. And around here there's actually some buttons. Can't remember what these do. I think they change timing intervals for the harvesting of these things. And that was it. Apparently, oh no, there it goes, and we sort of half missed it. And it's an interesting design because it uses less pistons and it shifts them back and forth so they hit either side or either group of the sugarcane one after the other. Hopefully that made sense. Probably not. And around the back here we've got a whole load of crazy redstone logic that controls it. And just over here is where I recorded that diamond video, if you've ever seen the best way to find diamonds video is just around here, and it was actually on the server. And that's another little bit of info for you right there. So you can see one of the beacon places, and all of these half slabs, by the way, they are to stop slime spawning. And if you want to download this world, there is a world download available. Hermitcraft.com is the place to go and get it. So we've seen most of what I did in this area. There was of course a lot more that got done in the time that we were transitioning. Between the two bases we had a villager trading system that was a lot of fun, and we ended up just keeping these two guys right here. And so if we go back out to the outside, you can see what it looks like at night, and we've seen most of what there is to see in this area. So if we fly over there, we will see something very cool. Let's go into game mode 3 for the current time, so we can fly really fast. This is going to cause my computer to load lots and lots of chunks. But this thing right here is a map. We actually took an entire area like this and basically turned it, into a map for the Hermit Underground, which is over in the second part of our world, where we had new terrain and we built another village together. And yeah, that's just, this is a map of the entire area. It appears on a physical map, the game item, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm messing up my words today. As always, that's how I feel. So I'm flying over in this direction now because I didn't want to go through the Nether to get to this next place, just because we can fly over here and see it for ourselves. But somewhere around here you're about to see, and here it is, a crazy farm. I'm going to fly over like this so I can let the world load a little bit. This is what it looks like from the outside. For those of you, and I've flown into it and kind of shown it off a little bit. Doesn't matter. For those of you that haven't seen this before, take a look at this. One of the craziest farms I think we ever built. This is 9 massive nether portals stacked side by side. So if you go over here, you can see that there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lots of 9 by 9, or sorry, 3 by 3 portals So yeah, 9 times 9, 81 massive portals. The biggest you can make them, and loads of pigmen spawn. They fall all the way down to the bottom, and I have heard that in the latest update of Minecraft this is actually broken. So what we might see down here is, yep, a load of pigmen not getting killed. They're supposed to get killed and their items picked up, but changes to the game kind of broke that, which is unfortunate. But anyway, the items would go all the way over here, and then here's the little like collection area hub with loads of chests. As you can see, hadn't quite finished sorting all of them out, but over here there's just tons of rotted flesh and tons of gold as well. Look at that gold, loads of it. We've got even more than we have here on the new server, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. And yeah, that's the gold farm. This is just another awesome project that we did here on the server. So there are more things to see. Definitely not going to be able to see everything, and I'm going to have to scratch my head and think about what projects I want to show you. Mostly going to be focusing on my own, but maybe we'll have a look at some other people's projects as well. But of course, you can always go back and check out some of the older videos. I'll be sure to put the playlist in the description box down below. So I'm afraid to say it, but the Nether was not a terribly exciting place on this season, which is probably why I've been so motivated to work on it this season, because for the longest time we never kind of stepped up and got it done, and we just have tunnels like this going everywhere, leading from place to place. But there is a little project here I'd like to show you, and the Nether feels excessively laggy at the moment. Can't help but feel that's got something to do with those 32 chunks that we're loading. But over here we have a Ender Pearl storage system in the Nether. This is kind of like what Tango Tech has done on the current server, except on this one we tried to do it in the Nether. So we have a system at the end farm that brings the end portals back to the spawn chunks, and then it actually chucks them through over here. I think they come through this portal, they get picked up and put into this storage system. And one of the things that I tried to do is to create a distribution network here in the Nether to take these Ender Pearls to people's bases and chuck them through their portals, so they'd always have Ender Pearls being delivered. But unfortunately, that plan never quite came to its fruition, I guess. So anyway, let's have a look around here. This prank, I don't know if I ever told anyone who did this. I didn't start it. I noticed that there was loads of crafting benches outside Red Eyes' portal. He cleaned them up, they came back, and then over time, whenever I would pass by here, I'd look in my inventory, see if I had a crafting bench or wood, and I would always craft one and put it down. And I don't know if anyone else joined in. I don't think they did, but that was me. I don't know who did the original prank, but yes. And I can't remember if I ever actually told anyone that. But there you go. I was the one who put all the crafting benches here. It's so silly. So eventually we did get a Nether hub together thanks to Zombie Cleo. She built one half of a Hermit Station. This one is Hermington. And there's supposed to be another one down the end that never got built, because we decided to reset the world. But this is pretty lovely looking place right here. And it was a group effort. She built all of this that you see right here. And then I came in and built a little station system underneath, so we can go and check that out. You stand here, you press the button, you fall down below, you're supposed to hold down spacebar, and then you can select your destinations over here. Press a button, hopefully all of this stuff still works. If there was a minecart in there it would have worked, you could have got on it and then gone on your way. And over here you've got a load of selector rails. Now I made a tutorial for this, and unfortunately both in the world that I built it, which would have been the plot world server, and then the test world that I went and put it in, they were facing the same direction each time. And this only works if you're facing this direction, which would be south or north. If you're facing east or west when you build this, the whole thing doesn't work, which is really unfortunate. So the 3 places that I built it, that being the plot world server, the test world for the video, and here on the Hermitcraft server, I all just happened to build them facing the right direction, which is unfortunate. Now I'm going to break things as we go around. Of course, that won't affect the world download or anything like that. I always feel guilty just breaking things, but it does make life more convenient. So what we're going to do is skip the portal, because we're in game mode 1, and just show you a few things around the back. That leads to a netherwart farm, and then out here you've got these ice paths and portals, and as I said, it's not very glamorous to look at. But anyway, we're going to go through this portal and check out the first area that we had here on the server. This is where we kind of like first decided to create a spawn town. Please don't do that. Why are we rubber banding? I'm not on a server. I'm actually playing on my own computer, and there's a pink sheep here. How very distracting. So let's press the button and go and have a look outside. This place brings back some memories. Monkey Farm Skull. Oh, it looks so good. I love this. We have got to see this in the daytime, that's for sure. Oh, this thing was so cool. One of the coolest things about it, though, was the way it kept changing over time. At one point, it had a Christmas hat on it, then it got some glasses, and then it had these Beats by Monkey Farm thing. We know what they're called. They're called headphones. and man, is this base cool. And I think Monkey felt quite bad when we reset the world that this place would get left behind. And I feel for him. This was a really, really awesome project. You know, Monkey Farm can do some really cool stuff. Not just technical, but, you know, visual as well. And this was a really cool and interesting base. And I think if we were to drop down below, you'll see some interesting things down here. Gotta say, it's terrific to be back here on the server. So yes, underneath this water, you can see there's some particle effects. Really cool stuff. Great entrance to the base. The skull, I love it. There's so many cool things here. D-Max Towers, you got Joe Hills's, I'm sure that has a really creative name, but it's not coming back to me right now. Dig for Hire, I've been meaning to bring this back on the new server. This was my shop where you could basically hire me to dig out a big hole for you for nothing. The deal was, you tell me where to go and dig, and I get to keep any of the ores and stuff that I find where I'm digging, and then that way, you know, I'll come along and help you out with your building. And I'd like to bring that back, I think. So this is Corralis's barn right here. I mean, there's so many buildings. I can't go through all of them one by one. You got Corralis's base on the back here as well. Really awesome build. And this is just littered with things that people have built, and you know, the community coming together and building a communal area. And it's ever so cool. So we will go over here and look at the two buildings that I created. This was my first one. This was based on a screenshot I saw on the Reddit of a adobe, as they called them. I think I get corrected every time I try and say what that is. And yeah, the real base though, we've already seen. And then over here I built a little secondary house. Asuma's vacation home. This is actually based on Corralis's build style over here. I sort of walked back and forth and looked at what he had done and tried to do something similar but change things up. This is when I was trying to learn to build a little bit more. And that's a really good way to do it. You know, don't be afraid to copy other people, because you'll see things that they've done and you'll understand how they work, and then you can adapt them and use them in your own way, which is a kind of a lesson for a lot more things than just building in Minecraft. But anyway, if we go down here, I think I emptied this place all out. This used to be my storage, and yep, I kind of dismantled it as I went on. But one of the first things that I did when I came on the server was half slab a ravine. Now, I was in a state where I wasn't sure if I was going to continue playing vanilla Minecraft, and then I got the itch to try something a little bit crazy. And I noticed that there were some really interesting lighting effects in the ravine when the daytime changed. So I decided to half slab the entire thing so it would be dark, and I considered building my base in here. And when I say so, it would be dark, so nothing would spawn. But eventually over time people sort of dig through the area and bits of it have been lit up. But if we change the time of day to, let's say, 0, we might see some of those effects. Or maybe not, I'm not sure what time of day it is. I've also got a feeling the render distance, yeah. The render distance is going to change that. So anyway, let's go into game mode 3. And let's actually fly through the wall here. This is something you don't get to see too often. What the world looks like from this perspective. Because of course, we didn't have this on this world. And you can see it's well and truly been inhabited. There's a ravine over here that looks like it's been missed. But the most part, it's been lit up. And here is the slime farm that I built. Oh yes, I remember this one. Very cool farm design. We had to change it up though because the original one broke. And we got one with loads of cactus here. But I think there's not too much else here that I need to show you. We've got the old towers. I love those farms. And over in the distance here, we've also got the tree farm that I built as well. Though I've got a feeling this is probably broken now. Yeah, look, they must have changed something with the updates, because all of the ice in the middle has disappeared or melted or something. Not sure what's going on there. All of the redstone's been activated and the water's going all over the place. But anyway, let's have a little tour around. I'm going to try and find somewhere else to show you now. So here's a place that should need no introduction. It is Slipgator's ribbon. This thing looks amazing. It's even loading still. Wow. The 32 render distance is really having an effect on the computer. I had to restart the client there. We got maxed out on our memory. You might have noticed the FPS drop down, and really doesn't feel like the game is optimized for this render distance at all. Let's have a look at F3. There you go, we're up to 3 of our 4 gigabytes already. So this is the ribbon, a pretty fantastic concept for a base, just a giant ribbon that goes all the way up to the build limit and all the way down to the bottom of the map as well. And then he had these little saucer sections where he got together with other hermits and built really cool things. But this thing was actually right next to our second hermit town, which we built when the new terrain came out in 1.7, which was a long time ago, over a year, probably like over a year and a half. And to get there, we could take the little line right here. We're obviously going to fly, but this is one of my projects. I built a load of little stations where you could go down. And remember that map I showed you earlier? That's what it's like when you see it here in the game. Do we have jump boost? Yes, we do, and that affects you when you're in creative mode. Of course it does. So anyway, let's fly off into this direction over here and have a look at this area. It's awesome. It sprawls like through the hills, and there's so many great adventures that we had here together. This is XB's little base over on this side. We've got a little bit of tunnel that I built. The horse mouth, which looks really creepy and scary, but that's the entrance to the racetrack. A massive horse race that goes all the way around this area. A huge project that took a long time to do. We've got Jevin's little base over here. We've got Spoon's chest, which was like a diagonal build. And behind that we have my little racecourse area where you've got the horses. So we've still got these guys. Let's give one of them a ride. Oh, awesome. And yes, we've got the horse track, horse speedometer. There's a tutorial for this out there if you want to search that word. And when you run across this thing, it's already activated, by the way, so this is going to fail. But you run from one side to the other while a clock puts items into a dispenser or a hopper or something, and then when you get to the end here it stops it, so you can go back, you can look at how many items you have, and then with a little bit of math you can actually figure out the blocks per second speed of the horse. But unfortunately this thing was left in the wrong state without being reset, so it's kind of useless to us now. I'll have to fix it first. So over here we've got more horse stables, we've got the Aber Caving building. I'm thinking about doing another Aber Caving tournament on the current world, which has been heavily requested. And then we've got this little bridge leading over to Monkey Farm's tree, which looks absolutely awesome. In fact, we're going to have to leave this guy now and do a little bit of flying. We've got Spunwack's massive mansion that he didn't quite finish up the back here, but there's loads of awesome interiors in this place. Another reason for you to download the world and check it out. And then we've got this little tunnel right here. And somewhere along here, you can hit one of these, and it opens up a secret entrance, which is actually already open and makes me think that something's broken there. So let's just break this so we can go through. And then we've got everyone's build. We've got, I think this is Schisms or Pungencies. I can't remember whose this house is. Then you've got Juistra's there. Red Eyes is up on the hill. We've got, yeah, this is Pungence and this is Schism. That's right. D-Mac's house right here with all the beacons. Slipgator's there. Hypno's, Mumbo's, and then my one, which was built by Kivan. He built this on the Plot World server, and I saw the build design and I went, that just looks absolutely fantastic. I really want to build that. So we came on here and built it on the server. And down there we got the rainbow beacon as well, but it looks like that thing is broken, or did I turn it off? I can't remember. But yeah, this is just going to rotate through all of the glass, and it means that this thing sort of changes like a beacon, which is pretty cool. So let's continue through this area. Over here is Tango Tech's base, which looks awesome, and then we go into Zorgin's area and Corralis's as well. So that's the entrance to Tango Tech's base, and there is a very cool perspective thing that he's done here, which as you approach and enter, although it doesn't quite work, when you're close it works perfectly. Look at this. Do you see what he's done? The portals to the Nether and the Overworld. I love that. Just take a look at that for a second. Oh, it's so trippy. And you can kind of move around a little bit here as well. Just a little bit, and it still looks genuine. That's such a cool thing to do. And his base is down below, by the way. Then over here you've got Zul'jin's area. And that's his mansion, or modern mansion, whatever you want to call it, right there. Corralis's build on this side. This thing is epic. Really awesome. I remember he was going on about all the quartz that he had to mine to get this, because of course Corralis doesn't like the Nether. And then you got Zul'jin's hot tub, and I don't remember this over here. Obviously it's a greenhouse. I don't remember this at all though. Maybe it was one of the last things he did here on the server. Awesome. And yeah, that's kind of like the residential area. Cleo is badass. Yeah, this is one of the pranks that Jevin done on Cleo. You got Cleo's towers right there. They look absolutely fantastic. Really cool. Stained glass again. Cleo's really good at building with the stained glass. And there's a few more hermit houses down the bottom here. And if you follow the path through, it goes into the commercial district. This is where we had loads and loads of fun. It was such a great idea to do this. And there's some remainders of pranks over there. And basically we all got together to build shops. Corralis did his rent a derp. And I've got to show you something right here. I haven't seen it in a while. Oh, it looks like Jevin packed up his shop. But if we go into this little house right here, oh, it looks ever so cool. You know, Corralis is a good builder, isn't he? And then, oh, let's look up. What's that? You got Corralis's face looking down on you. When I first saw that, I burst into hysterics. If we go around the back here, you can see he actually built himself sort of leaning into the house, which is just hilarious in so many ways. So around here, there's some strange stuff like random dirt pillars. Lots of remainders of pranks, but we had so much fun around here. Everyone set up shops and buildings, and we all came together and just had a wonderful community experience. It was really spectacular. You know, I still can't understand why we reset this world sometimes, but we've had a ton of great adventures on the new world as well. So it's all good, it's all great. And that's one of my little banana-shaped building builds, and a restaurant over there. This was an awesome prank, I think originally by Cleo, and then I think Spum and Slipgator came along, and then they shaved all of the what's it called, wool off of the sheep. Yeah, that's what they did. And then over here we got the courthouse as well, where we had some drama. Corrales fried chicken, oh, and the signs as well. We all went and set up signs as well. Salad and D McDonald's down there, and the juice bar as well. Oh, we actually finished this, I think, in the end. That's ever so cool. Oh, well, maybe it's not, but it's certainly got off to a good start. I like how that looks a lot. And yeah, we just had a great time. Monkey Farm's bad advice. And then over the back here, the courthouse. I love this building. This was a lot of fun to do. And then off in the distance, we might be able to see a little bit of the racetrack. There's another station down there. And then this is one of Schism's and Pungence's base projects to build a half pipe. But off in the distance, if we keep flying, we should find Hypno's base and also the racetrack. Hello! That was my terrible Hypno impression. Oh yes, we did a prank. Well, we did a prank. I can't remember what the prank was anymore. Then someone else came over here and did a prank, and there were quite a few pranks happening over here. And yeah, this place is very, very cool. Hypno's vanilla base right here. 4 towers like around this circular bit, and then it goes all the way down below. This is a serious grindy base though, like he dug out so much space down below. There's this awesome area all the way at the bottom, but I'll leave you to see that for yourself, where there's like no light, it's all been half slabbed, and there's even a slime farm down there. It's very cool. But I was thinking the best way to see the racetrack is probably from the beginning, right? But the racetrack is extremely long, so I kind of want to show you the best bits of the racetrack, and one of them is just over there. And I just remembered what the prank is as well. We came over here and we filled this entire area in with sand, and you can see some of it is still, some of the grass is still spreading back over here from where it got turned into dirt. And we built this little camper van as well, and that was how Zul'jin and False joined the server, which is a really cool way for them to join. 2 new people joining, we did a double prank. But anyway, let's fly over in this direction. Not sure what that is, probably another part of Hypno's base, and we get to see one of the most amazing parts of the entire racetrack. So the racetrack itself isn't too visible unless you know what to look for. There are these little bits right here, these fences everywhere, and so they kind of guide you through the main bits, but then there's parts that are built up which are really obvious, and this is one of them. It's Cleo's, like, I guess you could call it a I don't know what you'd call it. It's an amazing sandstone village. That sounds so boring, doesn't it? Sandstone Village. But there you go. This is the entrance right here. And there's a big temple right here, which I don't think actually got finished. Or maybe it's supposed to be kind of all open. I think actually that's the way it's supposed to be. But yeah, Cleo done an awesome job here building this crazy village with all these walls around it. And the racetrack goes right through the middle. I especially love these flags that hang down as well. They're certainly really cool. Again, using the stained glass, Cleo. And yeah, you go through here and there's loads of little shops and buildings, and you know, it's all detailed with like signs, things to read, things to go and look at, and little details as well on the inside, although not in that one. But around here you'll see it if we come up to this bit. Here you go, this is the detail that I'm talking about. You know, item frames for all of these shops in this little market area. You got your roofs held up by string and carpet, and this is just an awesome part of the racetrack which goes around here and then just goes off into the distance, and then it's quite some time before something else interesting comes along. So I'm going to fly over there and we're going to check out some of the other parts of the racetrack. And also, can we go time set? Let's make it daytime. No, I do not have permission to use this command. If you have this problem when you download the world, go to LAN world like this, go into creative and allow cheats, and then you'll be able to do that. And you can make it daytime. Awesome! Little tutorial for you right there, just in case you didn't know. And yeah, this is what it looks like in the day. I think it looks a little better at night because you get that lovely contrast of the illuminated yellow against the black. But anyway, I'm going to fly off into the distance along the racetrack and find the next little bit to talk about. So we're not going to have time for everything, but I've got to show you Slipgator's bit right here. You can see it starts off with some gravel mossy and cobblestone, which slowly blends through over to this bit right here, which is where he started an assault course. Now, when I sort of gave the idea out for people to do this, I never envisioned someone doing something like this. I don't know why. I always kind of pictured it as a leisurely thing, but what he did is turn it into a little bit of an obstacle course, and I thought that was absolutely awesome. So you've got a little jumpy section over here, where if you don't make the jump and you fall down, you've got to walk around the sides, and I think there's some more of that up ahead as well, like a little bit of water here. And oh, it's ever so cool to see all of this again. There you go, there's another jump section right there, but there's something very cool which you might be able to see over there on the right. You can also see the ribbon as well, which is another cool thing. But you go through here and there's a horse ladder, and the way it works is that horses can jump up a whole block. So the hitboxes of these are slightly smaller, one to the next, which means it actually just whizzes all the way up there. And so you fly all the way up to the top here, and it goes all the way to build limit, I do believe, and then you get launched down below. And from up here we can see a pretty interesting view of the world so far that's loaded. So then you fall down into the water. There's a little bridge that I built, and if we fly over in this direction, you've got Tinfoil Chefs, M1.7, the mall area, which I don't think he actually got around to finishing, but he started a little mall district with some hotels and stuff like that. And then it leads you over in this direction. I don't think there's too much else until we get to Forces area, so we should definitely check that out. And that'll probably be the last that we're going to see of the racetrack. It's not amplified, but the Hermitcraft Second World had some really nice terrain over here, some lovely big hills, and I love this line right here leading up to this little area which Force took over, and she built this thing right here, which is a skull, although it looks a little bit different from what I remember. But as you approach it, if you step on the pressure plates, you'll activate like a little trap here, so you've got to get your timing right as you approach, and then you go down into this area, which we'll have a look at in a second. You've also got an airship or a zeppelin over there, which is pretty cool, and then this like hilly area here just had a lovely ravine, and we had to lead the track down into there. What Force did is just, I think, put down some lava, or did I do that? I can't remember, but converted all of the water into stone so you could race along it like this, and then she's just decorated it with all sorts of vines and little details, and yeah, you go through the gorge all the way around here, and it's just awesome, and it leads you back towards Hermit Hills. No, it's not called Hermit Hills, that's the new one. Hermit Town 2.0. I can't remember what it was called, but let's fly top speed over here and we'll be able to see it, and we'll see the beginning part of the racetrack. So it's just across this river. And here it is. This is Mumbo's little assault course thing right here, which I never quite understood because it pushes the thing up by a block, but a horse will go straight over that. So I'm not sure what that was supposed to do. But that's it right there. And then back here is the horse mouth. So when you finish the track, you actually come back down through here again, and then up through the horse's mouth, back into the Hermit Town area. So it's been a terrific adventure, hasn't it? I really miss this world. I think we did some fantastic things here together. But it does make me excited for the future of Amplified, considering how well it's gone so far. I mean, I know I've got a load of other ideas, and it seems like everyone is just loving the Amplified world right now, which is great. But that's going to be it for this tour. I hope you enjoyed it. There is a world download available on hermitcraft.com. There is the playlist link in the description box if you'd like to check out some of the videos that I made here on the server. And of course, if you go to other people's channels, you'll be able to find their videos and all that stuff if you're interested in this world. And like I said, we had a heck of a lot of adventures here. It really was something special. So I hope you enjoyed the little tour, and we'll probably do one of these again maybe in the future. Way off in the future, you know. I like to put some distance between each of these nostalgic tours, but yes, I do hope you have enjoyed it. So as always, if you have, please do leave a like on the video. It'll be greatly appreciated, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye. Thanks for watching this video. I have a second channel where you can find additional videos of my Twitch live streams. If you're interested in watching one of my live streams, then come over to Twitch and hit that follow button to be notified of when I go live. And if you're not subscribed over here on YouTube, then feel free to subscribe for more content like this. I also have a creative plot world server, play.asumavoid.com, where you can build on your own plot and join in the fun with our wonderful community. And if you like social media, then you can interact with me on Twitter at asumavoid.com. Links to all the relevant things can be found in the description box below.